It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Welcome, friends and neighbors. I'm Tyler Keefe. Thank you so much for joining us. Close to home in Sylvan Lake, a Homestead, Florida woman sought to find a local house with special ties to her family history. Not sure of where to look, Dawn Cressley turned to the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the Sylvan Lake community and was able to connect with the design of her great-grandfather dating all the way back to 1919. Dawn Cressley joins us now on the Splash Live to tell us more about her exciting journey. Dawn, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you on, joining us all the way from Florida. Just a few weeks ago, before this, you were right here with us in our local community. You came into town, you're coming into town for a wedding, but beforehand, you were going to be in the area. You wanted to find this connection with your great-grandfather. You didn't know where to start. Now, you eventually found the house that you were looking for in the city of Sylvan Lake, but now what was the process like to find that actual house along the way?
So I actually contacted the Historical Society, who put me in touch with Helen Jane Peters, who is the resident historian. Mm-hmm. And she was able to tell me that she had actually babysat in the house and knew the couple that was living there and contacted them to actually let me visit the home and learn more information about all the things that my great-grandfather had done in the community back in the 1920s.
Yeah, Helen Jane Peters is such a great resource for Sylvan Lake history and for all these different stories that date back sometimes maybe just a few years, sometimes all the way back to the very beginning and some of those seminal moments in the history of the city of Sylvan Lake. Dawn, for you, of course, you have that family connection to Charles Fisher, who was your great-grandfather and designed this particular home in Sylvan Lake known as Wildwood. It's on Oakwood in Sylvan Lake. It was the family name for the home was Wildwood. That's really all you had, was the name of your great-grandfather, the name of the home, and the fact that it was in the city of Sylvan Lake here in the greater West Bloomfield area. But what sparked your desire to make this connection with your great-grandfather and see this home? What got you interested in that?
So I was excited. I had never visited Michigan before. I had heard a lot of great things about the Pontiac area. I knew that's where my grandmother was born. I knew that the time that they spent in Sylvan Lake, my dad's oldest brother and sister were born in Pontiac and spent 2 years there. My grandfather was in medical school, and I knew that there was a lot of precious memories there, and I just wanted to visit the area and see the home, and it was amazing.
You can see the home on your screen, some pictures, some of the historical pictures. You saw a look of what it's like today over on Oakwood in Sylvan Lake. And Dawn, for you, this kind of all came together so quickly. Helen Jane Peters, I spoke with her just before this interview earlier on today, and she had mentioned that in the days before, that's when you were making contact with the Historical Society. They got through to her, and she actually made contact with you to say, hey, I found the home. I've talked to the homeowners. They want to have you come in and take a look at this home with those ties to your great-grandfather. On the day you arrived, as you were at Detroit Metro Airport, coming in. Now, what was that moment like for you to not only hear, hey, I found the home, the people that are in the home are welcoming me into it, but to have that happen as you're actually getting into town that day?
It was just amazing. I couldn't believe that such a small community could offer such information and, just such friendliness. It was amazing. And I had the photo album, and I took it with me into the home to meet Barbara and Mark, and they were just so amazing and so interested in seeing all the old pictures and comparing the old rooms and what they were like then and what, you can see similarities now. And it was, everybody was just so amazing. And and giving me information about the buildings that my great-grandfather had built in the community. I had no idea that he had built City Hall, that he had built a schoolhouse that, was a very popular building in the community, that him and my grandmother had donated a painting, the Mary Had a Little Lamb, that is also an amazing story. And this information has just been so wonderful to share with my family members who really didn't know this information from my family. After I talked to an aunt after World War II started, a lot of things in Michigan were, I think, kind of lost. So this was just amazing information that a lot of the family members just were blown away hearing about.
And it was an interesting part of the story, too. Ellen Jane told me that something that both she and you were pretty surprised to find as you were able to tour this home during your time in Sylvan Lake was that it was built in 1919. A lot of what was in the original design is still part of how it is designed and laid out today, including something pretty cool. You mentioned that this kind of all sparked from wanting to get a little bit big of a connection to your grandmother who last lived in the area from your family. Charles Fisher, your great-grandfather, his grandchildren had their hands imprinted into the feet imprinted into the den's plaster wall. It's still there.
Well, interestingly enough, my grandmother was an art major at Beaver College back in the 1920s, and there she is, and she would always do handprints of her children and grandchildren. And as soon as I saw the footprints next to the fireplace, I knew that was my grandmother with her children doing footprints in the plaster. It was just so very touching to see that it had been restored, and that it was just amazing.
How surprised were you, Dawn, to find that the community was so helpful, so welcoming in making these connections for you, and in the process being able to sort of bring together those connections that they have to their city history through places like the Daniel Whitfield School, which your great-grandfather helped to design. Of course, the Mary and Her Little Lamb painting that was in the Whitfield School has recently been restored in the city of Sylvan Lake. How surprised were you that these connections were so strong and that you were able to make that sort of immediate connection with the Sylvan Lake community yourself?
All I can say is it was just so very touching that the community was just so warm and welcoming and able to share this information that really my family and my aunt, who's in New Hampshire right now, still alive, I was able to share this information with her. Just so heartfelt thanks to everybody in the community that were able to share a lot of this information that none of us were aware of. I tell this story to people in Miami and friends I have here, and people cannot believe the amazing people of this small town in Michigan that were able to share such history, and that I was able to pass this along, and that we can continue to pass this along to the rest of our family.
The prettiest little city in Michigan that's more than just the picturesque views on Sylvan Lake and in other areas. Dawn, thank you so much for joining us, and big congratulations to you to be able to have gone on this journey and found what you were looking for here in the city of Sylvan Lake.
Thank you so much, and thanks to Helen and Barbara and Mark and everybody that were helped to make this journey possible this summer. Best part of my summer. I can't say thank you enough.
A heartwarming story out of Sylvan Lake. Thank you so much, Dawn, once again, for telling us more about your journey, and of course to all involved for lending a helping hand to someone trying to make that connection to some of their family history and in turn making a connection to our community as well. Your historical journey through Greater West Bloomfield history begins on gwbhs.org and across social media following the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society at GWBHS. Traffic alert in Orchard Lake and West Bloomfield. While the bulk of summer construction on Orchard Lake Road is near completion at this time, that key area between Tam O'Shanter Country Club and the Pontiac Trail nearing completion. More is already on its way. Beginning today, Orchard Lake Road between Pontiac Trail and Long Lake Road will undergo resurfacing. That means another portion of Orchard Lake is about to have a slowdown. The work will be done with flaggers on the street to direct traffic, so expect delays throughout late August in that area of our community. The Road Commission for Oakland County estimating traffic backups could be heavy in this particular area. So leave extra time on your commute, take detours when possible, and make sure you bring your patience as a passenger if this is on your route from A to Z throughout Greater West Bloomfield. More information on this project and other updates on Facebook at RoadCom and on their website as well, rcocweb.org. Unfortunate news as we see the bulk of that Orchard Lake Road traffic from earlier on in the summer that's been hampering us really since the late portions of the winter into the early portion of fall. Now we got a little bit more as we go into the dog days of summer and head into the school year. So expect a few more delays. Close to home, library lovers will want to know this story coming up next. The main branch of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library will be closing on Saturday and remain closed for just over a week. This is being done to make room for multiple renovation projects that are happening inside the main library building during the week of August 18th through August 22nd. That's set to be complete in time for the main library to reopen that following Monday on August 25th for regular operations. However, in the meantime, some amenities at the main library still going to be available. The drive-up window will still have regular service Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. service on Friday, August 22nd. All of this being said, your favorite library services continue at the West Acres branch without interruption throughout that entire time period. For updates on this project and other things happening at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, you can tune in here on the Splash Live or follow the library on Facebook and on Instagram at West Bloom LIB. Woodward Dream Cruise season is in full swing with classic cars inundating Metro Detroit all throughout late August. Close to home, however, just next door to the Tri-Cities, a place where classic car fever is hot all throughout the year, and now you can get involved yourself. Here to tell us more is Terry Connolly from the Pontiac Transportation Museum. Terry, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity, Tyler, and happy Dream Cruise Week to everybody. Michigan has this tremendous auto heritage, and it's wonderful that we can celebrate it. And all these people come from different states and countries to visit with us.
Yeah, if you're watching live, the Dream Cruise, the next weekend coming just a couple of days away from us for the formal event. For those watching later on, we're talking about classic car celebration in our local community during the week of the Woodward Dream Cruise. And Terry, the Pontiac Transportation Museum only been open for right around a year, a little bit over perhaps, and it's already become a wildly popular destination in Pontiac, not just for those in the city, but for car lovers all throughout Metro Detroit. What's it been like so far?
Wonderful in a nutshell. This is a volunteer-driven organization, and most of what you see in the pictures Tyler's showing and in my background and so forth was accomplished by volunteers. And many of us are auto industry background people that they love this stuff. And one of the things I want to emphasize is this is not just a car guy museum where you look at nuts and bolts and underhoods and so forth. This is also a social history of how this region interacted with the automotive industry. And many of you watching undoubtedly have relatives or maybe yourself worked in the auto industry. So it's been a big part of the community's life.
Yeah, and that's what makes this such a destination for people, whether they are restoration enthusiasts, whether they love classic cars, or they just want to take a look through the history of the Motor City and our region here in Michigan. And you mentioned it's all volunteer driven. That's really what we want to get at today is the Pontiac Transportation Museum. They're still looking for volunteers. They're always looking for volunteers. And there's a lot of different ways that people can get involved.
Absolutely. I know everybody starts to think about, I could go down there and polish cars and maybe do some restoration work and so forth, but it is way broader than that, as Tyler suggests. This is a fairly significant business, which we have to advertise and market. We have to run accounting services. We have to do actually good historical research. We have to create exhibits. We have to curate exhibits and so forth. And many of which are topics that I think people will find pretty interesting. Like there's room to pursue topics that may have been something your family was involved in for instance. So when you think about volunteering here, I'll give you a couple examples. It's docents. It's people to walk around and talk with patrons about this history. That obviously takes a little bit of knowledge, but mostly take good, strong people interaction. It's doing historical research, which is kind of fun, going down to the Detroit Public Library and figuring out who William Knudsen was and why he's the guy that probably won World War II by his actions in Pontiac. It's such a strong history. And the breadth, by the way, of what we do in this museum, as I think most people are aware, is all-wheeled transportation in the Pontiac and surrounding communities. So it's not just the Pontiac brand. GMC started in Pontiac as well. And there's 47, no less than 47 companies that did wheeled vehicles in Pontiac.
And so it gives people a multitude of different opportunities, and also gives people a chance to reconnect with a bit of the auto industry. That it's no secret that through unfortunate financial times, maybe some managerial issues in the early portion of the turn of the century, caused a lot of these jobs, a lot of this industry to either consolidate in the Metro Detroit area, or in some cases go away entirely. And so for those like you who worked in the auto industry and are now volunteers at the Pontiac Transportation Museum, what's the experience been like sort of reconnecting with that community that in parts was fragmented during that difficult time?
Yeah, and some of the economic changes is something that was going to happen any way you look at it. Sure. With the breadth of foreign manufacturers coming into the U.S. and so forth. Some of Pontiac had at 1.5 vehicle assembly plants. It doesn't have any right now. It still has a fair amount of automotive-driven industry. But some of that was inevitable because auto plants take up 2 square miles and have 24/7 truck traffic, things that you really don't want in your community. So I'll say overall it's a positive because the industry is what shaped this area and brought most of our ancestors to the area.
And for younger generations, too, I'd imagine this is a pretty unique experience that they can get from volunteering, too, because so much of the time nowadays we think about people learning things about their history through online mechanisms. They maybe hear from occasional stories from their family, but there is that sort of loss of connection to that history that was on the ground we're standing in. And so for younger people, what sort of opportunity is there by volunteering here for them to connect with maybe their family history in the auto industry, and certainly so much of what is the core of our history in southeastern Michigan?
Well, as I say, shaping exhibits and doing historical research is a big part of it. But more than that, I'll say we like the new ideas and new perspective that young people can bring to this. And we need to hear that and need to sort of face up to it. It is a different generation with different expectations. We're also pretty big on making sure that our exhibits are not just what I call stand and read exhibits, which is what I kind of grew up with. But today, you want QR codes, you want deep information available at your beckoning. And so that's a lot of what we're trying to do in the museum as well.
How have you found the drive for volunteers being? I know initially there was a lot of excitement for the Pontiac Transportation Museum to be opening when it was around the time where it was going to open its doors. Has that momentum been able to sustain? Are you finding that people get more interested as time goes on?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I think most projects like this that people are skeptical at first. Is this really going to work? But the first step for anybody that would want to volunteer is come and see us. Come and see what this place is like, and you'll feel the enthusiasm and be excited about it. And that's what we're beginning to benefit from as people see that and want to be a part of it.
And so we love the Dream Cruise season. This time of the year brings so many people to Metro Detroit. It gives people an opportunity to see this area that maybe they hear a lot about from outside voices, and now they get a chance to experience Detroit and the metro area firsthand. It's a great opportunity for that. We certainly want people to go to the Woodward Dream Cruise and experience that tradition here in our local community. But what sort of opportunities are there throughout the Dream Cruise season for people outside of course, the volunteer opportunities to explore at the Pontiac Transportation Museum?
Well, we're obviously open 4 days a week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we're drawing a lot of interest. But for instance, last night I had 2 Australians here. We've had people from 18 countries to the museum. So people seek us out. There's no shortage of activities around Dream Cruise overall. And the museum Saturday, what we're going to do with the main day of Dream Cruise is provide a break point for people. We'll be doing some live streaming from the street, but you can come in and enjoy our air conditioning and take a rest stop effectively from the traffic of Dream Cruise.
It's a great opportunity to explore some of our local car history a little bit closer to home than you'd get by going all the way out to Woodward, or maybe on your way back into town from the Dream Cruise. Keep that excitement going. The Pontiac Transportation Museum can be found on PontiacTransportationMuseum.org and across social media as well at Pontiac Transportation Museum. Terry Connolly joins us from the museum as they're seeking volunteers even to this day. We want to get people in our community involved in what's becoming a destination nearby us in the city of Pontiac. Terry, if people want to get involved, how do they take those first steps to volunteering?
Well, so you'll find on our website that Tyler just mentioned, admin at PontiacTransportationMuseum.org is the email address we direct you to. But first step is really come and see us and talk to us on the spot here if you like what you see, and we'll kind of get a profile. We like to get involved. We like to get volunteers involved in things that they like to do, because if we don't do that, they go away. So chances are we're going to try and match up to your interests and abilities.
And that's going to be a great opportunity for people to explore some of what's available for them at the Pontiac Transportation Museum. Get out, volunteer, get involved in the community, meet some people, and get that reconnection with our history here in the local area. Terry, before we let you go, anything else that we should know that's upcoming and we should keep our eye out for at the Pontiac Transportation Museum?
No, the last thing I'll say really is just that this area's heritage is so rich. Many people, I find an enormous amount of people don't even have an understanding of why the Detroit area, grew up to be the capital city of cars around the world. And we owe it to ourselves to explore that history, not just at our museum here, but at the Paquette Museum, at the Henry Ford Museum, et cetera. I think people ought to know this stuff if they live in the area.
All right. Well, we are so glad to have you on the program today, Terry. Hopefully, more and more people will get out and explore the Pontiac Transportation Museum. I've heard so much excitement coming out of Keagle Harbor and Sylvan Lake, even out of West Bloomfield, really all throughout our greater West Bloomfield communities. Hope to see so many more of them out there during the Dream Cruise proper and beyond. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Appreciate it. More information on the Pontiac Transportation Museum is on PontiacTransportationMuseum.org. You can also follow them on Facebook and on Instagram at Pontiac Transportation Museum. For 28 years, Gino's Pizzeria and Restaurant has kicked off Dream Cruise Week with a classic car show in the heart of the lakes, bringing together classic car enthusiasts from Keagle Harbor and beyond. Civic Center TV intern Ishan Desai has the story. We apologize. We are having some issues with that particular video, so we'll come back to something along those lines later on. Of course, you can see that on our website as well. We'll have that on CivicCenterTV.com. Moving right along, West Bloomfield High School seniors are getting a head start on college applications before the school year has even begun. 150 Lakers made their way to the I-Center at West Bloomfield High School for guidance on the Common Application, diving into financial aid processes and more with their counselor, Noelle Essig. It's a daunting process that was ultimately brought to ease, says Essig, who noted that students left, quote, feeling confident ahead of the game, end quote. You can follow these seniors' journeys and more stories from the West Bloomfield School District as school gets underway in just a couple of weeks. Facebook.com/West Bloomfield Schools, Instagram as well at West Bloomfield Schools, and more information on programs and other activities in the West Bloomfield School District are on WBSD.org. We're just 2 weeks away from kickoff at the Swamp, where the West Bloomfield Lakers will take on Dearborn Fordson on Family Fun Night to begin their 2025 campaign. Last week, I had a chance to talk to senior captain Kamari "Tank" Pittman as he looks to be a battering ram up the gut for the Lakers' defensive front, while also showing the young Lakers what it takes to win football games when it counts.
Yeah, years prior we had a ton of great leaders. So like my sophomore year when we had Brandon, Kari, Montel, and all those type of guys, those guys were there to teach me how to lead. Then the next year I was a captain. So I was able to actually embrace and inherit that captain role. So I just wanted to say that they led by a great example, and now I got other guys with me that's willing to lead that want it just as bad as I do.
How different is the work when you take that leap in leadership from being one of the up-and-coming guys to now you're the one everyone's looking toward in the locker room?
Yeah, most definitely. Now there's more eyes on you, so now you have to make sure that you're leading by example, make sure that you're doing the right thing always, because you never know who's watching, because now we got these younger guys that don't know, it might be some young guys that don't know, how the history has been, with great leaders, great leadership. Now you got to show them how to be a great leader, so when you graduate, they can come and be a great leader as well.
There's a lot of pressure. People are looking at you at West Bloomfield High School. They're expecting you to be at least in the mix in the red, if not all the way in Division I. So how do you embrace that and also help the younger guys embrace that without necessarily getting lost in the hype and the pressure that comes along with it?
Yeah, we told them, really just block the noise, people are going to say things regardless, and no matter if it's good or bad. So it's just on you to go out there and just embrace it and just, you can use it as motivation. Me personally, I got, all the bad things that's been said about West Bloomfield on my home screen. So, I wake up to that. Every time I use my phone, I see that. So that's just motivation to go out there, and it makes me better, it makes me want more.
You look back at the last 4 years since the state championship in the COVID year in 2020 and the 4 years before that. The thing that you look at that was so common during the lead up to the championship and the championship game itself that season, the defense was on fire. Teams could not get double-digit points. Been a little bit different, around 25 points per game for offenses opposing the Lakers in the past 4 years. For the defensive side, how focused are you guys on making the defense punishing in 2025 and limiting the opportunities that other teams have to get out ahead of the Lakers or match that high-power offense?
Yeah, we actually have a pretty good amount of seniors returning that played a lot of defense. We all want it bad. Even the young guys coming up, we're teaching them oh, they're saying this, that, and the third about us. So go out there and be better, It's we getting physical in the weight room every day, taking advantage of every opportunity presented to us. So by us getting stronger, that's like last year we struggled at stopping the run. This year up front, we're stopping the run.
Kamari Pittman's with me, OAA Football Media Day. Lakers just a few weeks away from this event today, from kicking off the 2025 season. You got a really tough schedule. It starts off with one of the best teams in the state in Dearborn Fordson. How excited are you and the rest of the guys in the locker room to have that heavy competition from the jump?
Yeah, we're ready for it. We want to take it day by day, game by game. Dearborn Fordson, they're always going to be a good team. No matter who's on their staff, they're always going to be strong. Fordson is always in the weight room, always will be. But I'm not taking them lightly. I'm taking them like they're the best team in the state, no matter if they lost everybody on their staff, players, all that.
Kamari, we want to thank you for joining us, and we're excited to get things kicked off in a few weeks for the 2025 season. What's your lasting message to Laker Nation and, of course, to your teammates as you get ready for 2025? What's that focal point that you're all sort of basing all your work off of as you head into the season?
Yeah, the ultimate goal is a state championship. We want to all be playing on Thanksgiving weekend at Ford Field. We want to show that we're the best team in the state. So we're just making sure that we stay committed to the goal, but more on the team aspect. We've been focusing on getting physical. Physical has been our main emphasis. O-line, D-line, skills, everybody. Everybody just wants to get strong so they have the opportunity to play and make sure that they're dominant every time they step on the field.
You want to set a great foundation. You do so in the trenches. The Lakers have that foundation ready to go for 2025. They kick off on a Thursday night, August 28th against Dearborn Fordson at Laker Stadium. More information and coverage all across the season on your home for Laker Sports, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. Kamari, thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Stay tuned all throughout the 2025 school year for more stories around Laker athletics on your home for Laker sports coverage, CivicCenterTV.com. Also at West Bloomfield High School, a student who is dominating competition in his own right. Nathan Herbert was one of 2 Lakers to receive scholarship money from the Ticket to Tuition sweepstakes, being one of just 10 students in the entire state of Michigan to receive the $50,000 prize. He joined our team to tell us more about his experience and winning big as he pursues his college education.
Nathan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Of course. First and foremost, big congratulations. This is an incredible honor. How did it feel when you first found out that you had won the $50,000 through the Ticket to Tuition sweepstakes?
When I first found out, honestly, it was pretty surreal. I thought it was fake at first. $50,000 is a lot of money, so somebody calling me and saying, "Hey, you won $50,000," it definitely does not feel like something that's real. So I went through a process of verifying that with my school counselor and everybody else involved, and it felt great. Honestly, it felt like a burden lifted off of my shoulders, definitely.
That's great. And you're right. It's definitely not the kind of phone call you get every day of like, hey, you won $50,000. So I'd imagine you're feeling a lot of elation. Can you tell us a bit about the sweepstakes itself? How did you enter and what made you decide to give it a shot?
So personally, I heard about it through a family friend that saw it on the news. And they saw the governor talking about it, how they'll have their own kids personally enter the sweepstakes, and they encouraged me to do it myself. And personally, I didn't think it'd be worth my time because I saw that it was basically like a lottery type of thing. But it was very easy to join. It took 10 minutes of my time max. It was very easy, and I'm just grateful that I joined it, honestly. It was definitely worth my time. It was something I forgot about by the time I won it. So I had to look back at it. And honestly, it was so effortless that I didn't even think about it twice before. By the time I won, it was just a huge surprise.
Hey, you said 10 minutes of your time, and that's all it takes to get you $50,000 towards your college education. How is this money going to impact your future, would you say?
Honestly, $50,000 has a larger impact on my future than I could even realize myself, right? So I get to go to a school that I really want to go to now, and it's just made the financial situation not an issue for at least the first few years of school for me. It'll cover tuition, room and board, my meal plan. It covers so many things that'll make my life in college just easier, take away a lot of stress.
I'd imagine so. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Nathan Herbert, one of the big winners of the Ticket to Tuition sweepstakes, winning $50,000 for his academic career going forward. Now, Nathan, I'd imagine with getting this large sum of money, I've imagined you've taken the time to reflect on a lot of things. What can you say about the people or the experiences that have helped you reach this point?
Honestly, the people, just family members that encouraged me, even though I might not have wanted to, helped me fill out multiple scholarships. It's a lot of scholarships that I filled out. So I'm just really grateful to win this one. And the experiences, like I said before, it's just a lot of effort filling out countless scholarships, not only winning 1, 2, maybe 3 of them. This is a big help. And I'm just grateful for everything and everybody that played a part of that. Sure.
Absolutely. And winning a scholarship like this often brings new opportunities to the table. Are there any specific goals or ambitions that you now feel more confident pursuing?
Definitely. So I have some personal goals with going to my school of choice, which is North Carolina Agricultural and Technological State University. I'd like to get into their honors program. But with that, it would be a couple additional fees. So now I'm glad that I have this scholarship to help with that. And it just allows me to focus on my academic goals, right? And chasing the best grades that I can for
Oh, looks like we have a slight. Oh no, we're all set. Sorry about that, Nathan. It looks like we had a slight audio or video glitch. If you could just continue.
Okay. I was saying it overall would just help with me pursuing my academic goals as far as getting the best grades possible for my future and achieving an internship and a job after college. Yeah, it just helps with the entire picture. So definitely.
Absolutely, and glad that the future is looking so bright for you, Nathan. You just said that you were going to be going to North Carolina A&T to study engineering. What inspired you to choose that field and choose that school?
Growing up in the West Bloomfield School District, I've definitely been a part of the STEAM program, and even in the high school, I've been exposed to lots of computer-based subjects. We have engineering courses, computer courses, CAD, architecture, you name it. Honestly, our school district has done a great job of exposing me to the engineering side of things, and it's definitely been something that I've taken interest in as of late. Honestly, my whole life. In the West Bloomfield School District, they've done a great job of that, and so it's something that I just want to pursue in the future.
I love to hear that, Nathan, and glad to hear that your future's looking so bright and you got so many great things up on the horizon. I got one more question for you before we wrap things up. What advice would you give to other students who may be unsure whether opportunities like this are worth applying for?
Honestly, I'd say apply. Even if it's something that you don't want to do, because that will happen, right? At some point, you're going to lose the ambition to apply for things. It'll be like you'll apply to 20 scholarships, maybe win one. You might think it's pointless to apply to things. You might think it's not worth your time. It definitely is, because for all you know, you could just win that one scholarship that could change everything, right? Even if it's smaller scholarships, $100, $500, $1,000, they add up. Over time, just apply for as many scholarships as you can to maximize the amount of money that you can win, for sure, because it's never enough. College is very expensive.
That is absolutely true, Nathan, and those are some very wise words for everybody to take away. Once again, a big congratulations for everything, Nathan, and thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
Yep, thank you very much for having me.
You can congratulate Nathan as well as fellow Lakers senior Aja McCoy, who won $10,000 themselves, on Facebook and Instagram at West Bloomfield Schools. Close to home, one of the biggest fundraising events for the entire year aims to help people with special needs at an organization known around the world, based right here in West Bloomfield Township. The Friendship Circle's Walk for Friendship fundraising efforts are underway, aiming to raise $1 million to support their extensive programming all throughout the year. Friendship Circle co-founder and director Bazzi Shemtov joined me here on The Splash Live to talk about this tradition as well as their 2025 fundraising efforts. Bazzi, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you on. The Walk for Friendship, one of the biggest events of the summer. It's kind of that last march into the late summer and into the early fall for a lot of people in Greater West Bloomfield. It all goes toward a good cause, and that's why there's that lofty goal of raising $1 million during this fundraising effort. Give us the background of why that's the number that the Friendship Circle is aiming for this summer.
You know, every year, every month, there are new programs that have to be started and continued, whether it's programs for our children's division or programs for our You Matter for our teens, or it's a vocational program or life skills for adults with special needs. We turn to you, to our community, to step in once again and be a part of this very special day where we celebrate people with special needs. And that's the time that we say, let's bring in together all of our efforts, large or small, every donation counts, to bring that $1 million so we could continue every day, every week of this upcoming year, the programs that our kids and teens and adults deserve.
And it's really important to note, too, that the $1 million here, like you said, it goes to support ongoing and into next year, these programs continuing, others that may pop up or may be necessary throughout the time. This isn't going into the coffers for a rainy day. This is just the very basics, and I think that's really important for people to understand.
Yeah, it's, if you just come by our camps, we're actually finishing this week is our last week of our 8-week camp. It is mind blowing to watch the incredible connections and love and friendship that happens between our staff, our volunteers, and of course, our amazing children.
Walk the number 4 friendship.com is the website if you want to make a donation or sign up for the Walk for Friendship Sunday, August 24th, beginning at the Farber Soul Center and then moving all the way over to the Mir Center for a celebration as well. The goal, $1 million. They're just approaching $300,000 in fundraising pledged already as of the time that we're recording this interview. So off to a really great start, Bazzi, and I think that goes to show the kind of support that West Bloomfield and surrounding communities have for these programs. You are, as the co-founder of the Friendship Circle, you've had a front row seat to see how this organization has grown and why it's so important to people with special needs and their families all throughout southeastern Michigan. So if you could dive into that a little bit for us and explain how these programs have continued to be not only important to those families, but even more important as our society is complicated in recent years and in recent decades.
I think about our community. I think about West Bloomfield and beyond, our Metro Detroit community, how fortunate we are to have a community that really believes in stepping into the responsibility role of really taking it as their responsibility, their initiative, their charity to say that they want to be a part of it. If a family has a child with special needs, we have hundreds of teens and hundreds of adults that really not only want to come in to be supportive, which we all should want to be supportive and do that good deed. Even more so, they are stepping in because they see the benefit and the beauty of somebody that has special needs. So although the family may have a hard time taking their child, their adult child or their younger child out shopping, out to the movies, out to hanging out in the park, and all of a sudden they have these teens and adults that really truly see their child for who they really are. And that's where we make the community their home. We make the place we make the community safe for their family, for their child, where they know that they belong. And that's actually our motto this year is You Matter. It's really telling each one of these families, their children, their adult children, that they matter. And at the same time, like you kind of alluded to, when we're talking to our teens, the teens of today, they realize that they matter. They are a part of what makes the incredible connection and the safe space for these children. They're the ones that make this possible. And at the same time, it's a win-win because our teens absolutely adore the kids. They don't want to leave. I've had some counselors literally crying. I thought something happened, and they are devastated the camp is almost over. So it's just an incredible win-win situation, and I'm so proud to be a part of it and be able to witness it so up close.
And these volunteers, these opportunities, these groups that have popped up over the years that have become staples of the Friendship Circle, they build these lifelong bonds that have a big impact, as you just mentioned, for the volunteers, for camp counselors and other employees of the Friendship Circle. But what's even more important is if they're building those relationships and they're having those sorts of impacts on them, it's certainly having that similar impact on the people that these services are for. And so from your perspective, hearing from families, hearing from these individuals that are participating and benefiting from these programs, just how much of an impact does the Friendship Circle have on individuals and families with special needs here in Greater West Bloomfield and beyond?
I was at the talent show for the adult day camp the last day last week, and one of our adults stood up and looked at the director of the camp and said, "You are my best friend." And she stood up, and she's not one that usually would talk like that. And she gave her a big hug. You're talking about a mom who shared my most famous saying of when we walk into Friendship Circle, it's like walking into a big hug. Friendship Circle is a place where our families can finally feel completely welcomed, not judged, and safe, a place where they could really call home. So anybody that has a child with special needs, come check us out, be a part of it. The walk is a place for everyone. Everyone can feel comfortable. It's a real family event.
And you're really encouraging as people are getting out for the walk and doing their fundraising efforts. It's a team effort across the Friendship Circle organization, the West Bloomfield community, the surrounding area, and the special needs community to raise that $1 million. You're taking some creative license in that also to encourage people in different ways to get out and raise those funds, but also in different ways to bring people in and inspire them to take part in this as well. What are some of the creative methods that the Friendship Circle is encouraging in this particular fundraising effort in 2025?
So we've got families doing many different fundraising events, anywhere from lemonade stands to a pickleball tournament to Pilates. We have so many families really setting up their own mini little fundraisers for their team. And we have random people setting up pages. And like I said, large or small, anybody that brings in every dollar counts. Every dollar is going to add to that special experience for that child, teen or adult that has special needs, and as well our incredible teen volunteers and adult volunteers that gain so much from this experience. So if you go to walkforfriendship.com, you can start a page, you can donate, or just volunteer and be a part of the incredible experience.
Yeah, and they got a leaderboard up there too, a little friendly competition also. If you look at it, some of the top walkers, some of the top teams raising tens of thousands of dollars already for the Friendship Circle. The Believers already in the lead with just over $22,000 raised, closely followed behind by Johnson Girls on Fire in a close competition for second and third place with Adult Program All-Stars, both nearing $15,000. These are significant efforts that are being put in by volunteers, Bazzi, and what do you think that says about the commitment that the community has to helping this organization and helping the people, most importantly, that it benefits every day?
It's like we have hundreds of partners of people that truly are passionate, excited, and care just like we care. We have people that truly look at these children as shining stars, and they want to be a part of it. Of course, every single program needs more and more shining stars. So we so appreciate everybody's effort and love having the more partners, the better, to make this world, like you said, a better place. It brings some positivity, good energy, and a little bit of light dispels a lot of darkness. So we've got our work cut out for us, and we welcome everyone to join us.
Just at the corner of Walnut Lake and Drake Road, Sunday, August 24th. Registration opens at 10:30 a.m. if you'd like to participate in the walk. But the fundraising effort is already underway. All of that information, all those resources you may need to get involved and more, walk4friendship.com. And of course, you can also find them on Facebook at FC Michigan. Bazzi, before we let you go, this is open to everyone, not just people that are already involved with the Friendship Circle or have family members or other loved ones that are in these programs. So if people want to participate, what do you believe is the best first steps for them to take?
Correct. This is actually a pure free event. We want the entire community to feel welcome, and we encourage everyone to join. It is good to go on. We give free t-shirts. Go on to register at walkforfriendship.com. If you could give a donation, that is awesome. If you could fundraise, that's even better. But we want the entire community to join us at walkforfriendship.com. Register, make a team, whatever suits you, and come be a part of it.
Have a little fun, too. It's a 1.7-mile walk. You don't necessarily have to be part of the full 1.7 miles, but there's a carnival, there's activities, really friendly people along the way as well. It's great to get involved in that. Bazzi, thank you so much, as always, for your time, and best of luck with the Walk for Friendship this summer.
Thank you so much. Have a great week.
More information on the Walk for Friendship is on walkforfriendship.com. That's walk4friendship.com. And, of course, on the Friendship Circle's Facebook page at FC Michigan. Just down the road from Greater West Bloomfield, a sports legend is about to change the lives for Michiganders affected by Parkinson's disease. The Kirk Gibson Foundation for Parkinson's is actively raising funds to support their new Kirk Gibson Center on Northwestern Highway, and their CEO is looking to bring the fundraising goal to the mountaintop. I was joined on the program recently by CEO Steve Vanier, who told me about his journey to the foundation, why he and his wife pursued climbing Mount Kilimanjaro to raise awareness and raise funds, as well as how the new Kirk Gibson Center will help Parkinson's patients and their families close to home in Greater West Bloomfield and beyond. Steve, thank you so much for being with me today.
Oh, you're welcome. Great to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, super glad to have you on because your fundraising efforts, you're going all the way with this. You've done this before. You've ran a significant distance to raise funds for the Kirk Gibson Foundation, but now you're taking on perhaps your biggest goal of all. You and your wife are going to be climbing Mount Kilimanjaro to help raise funds and raise awareness for the Kirk Gibson Foundation. I just have to ask, where did this lofty idea come from?
Well, you know, it's always been a dream of mine to do it. And so having done the marathon a couple of years ago, I thought then maybe, I could combine this endeavour with my passion for helping people with Parkinson's disease and advancing the work of the foundation. So, as you mentioned, we're opening up this incredible wellness centre in a couple of months here. The official opening's on October 6th. So we've combined, this ambition to climb the mountain with this real purpose of being able to help people with Parkinson's. So that's why we're doing the fundraiser.
And it all begins on August 25th with the summit hoping to be reached by September 4th. The goal, $500,000 raised to support the Kirk Gibson Foundation. And this is really important because we know that the Kirk Gibson Foundation is doing great work and has been across the state of Michigan and beyond to help people with Parkinson's. But the Kirk Gibson Center, Steve, is going to be an even more special place to help people locally with services that are really critical to the Parkinson's community. Give us a little bit of information on what is coming to that brand new center opening soon.
Yeah, Kirk's vision has been to do everything that he could within the foundation to really impact positively the lives of people that are living with the disease. It's a really hard disease to live with. And what we do know is that exercise and movement is really important to help slow down the onset of the symptoms and to live a better quality of life, both mentally and physically. So out of this idea of higher impact and helping people directly came this vision for a centre. And we looked around the US and what other people were doing, and we looked at best practice and put together this plan to open a centre, found this incredible building in Farmington Hills. And since early this year, we've had a leadership team come on board to help us open everything up, and we've completed the design. The construction will be finished in about 2 weeks. We've got the furniture and equipment coming into the centre now. There's our leadership team there, Mary Lynn Foster, who's our CEO and a wonderful, wonderful person. Mary Lynn used to run the Red Cross here in Michigan, so a very experienced leader. And so we've got this great team on board. Everything's being finalised at the moment, and pretty soon we'll be having people in this amazing space. And it's not just about movement and exercise, which is vital, of course, but it's also a community space where people can come here. They can stay as long as they want. Their loved one caregivers can come and stay as well. So we just want to make people feel welcome. We want to make them feel included. There's no judgment here. They come and do what they want. They join the classes that they are comfortable to join and hopefully have a really positive experience. And that leads to them having a higher quality of life. That's our goal.
Steve Vanier is with us on the Splash Live, joining us from the Kirk Gibson Foundation on today's edition of the program. The foundation looking to raise $500,000 to support the brand new Kirk Gibson Center, soon to open on Northwestern Highway in Farmington Hills. Steve and his wife Shauna very soon are going to be beginning their trek up Mount Kilimanjaro in order to help raise those funds. And Steve, you have an inspirational journey yourself, and not only are you living through that and telling your story along the way. But now you're taking that inspiration and bringing it to others. So for you, what has motivated you to continue these lofty endeavors like the marathon, like climbing Kilimanjaro with your wife, to help these people that are affected by Parkinson's?
Previously in my life, when I used to do these sort of things, it was really about personal achievement and pushing myself outside my own comfort zone and challenging myself and setting goals, which is really the type of person that I am. And I think that's changed a lot. It changed with the marathon. It certainly has changed dramatically with Kilimanjaro. So the motivation now is the purpose that we have in the foundation to be able to help other people. So getting to the top of this mountain and hopefully having a lot of people support us financially is really about helping others. Much more so than it is a personal achievement. And so when Sean and I are on that mountain and things are hard and we're helping each other, we're going to be thinking about those that we can help through raising this money. And the money will go to the centre and help with the programming that's in the centre. Everything that the centre provides is going to be free of charge. There's no insurance required. There's no money required. All the members' services will be free of charge, and that's Kirk's commitment. So this fundraiser is part of honouring that commitment.
And then these are really important resources that this community needs, and people with Parkinson's in Lower Michigan are certainly looking for. And so, Steve, in creating this center through the foundation and raising these funds, I don't think that people that aren't affected by these sorts of conditions like Parkinson's or MS or something sort of in that vicinity really understand just how significant it is to have a center like this coming to our community that provides these resources for free. So what's the reaction been like from the local community affected by Parkinson's as they're about to have these resources available to them, for some in their hometown?
Yeah, for sure. It's been extraordinary. So, we believe there are about 35,000 people that have Parkinson's in Michigan, and within about a half-hour drive of our location here in Farmington Hills, we believe there are about 8,000 people that have Parkinson's. So there's 8,000 families. So, it's a massive impact on the community in general, and it's the fastest-growing neurological disease in the US. So we needed to help. We needed to step up and help the Parkinson's community, and the reaction has been enormous. We already have 500 people, over 500 now, signed up to be members at the centre. And that can be easily done by going onto our website, the Kirk Gibson Centre.org, and registering as a member, and then we'll provide you all of the details of what to do after that. But 500 people have already signed up. We have 2 open houses coming up, one on the 9th. This is all on our website, one on the 9th of August and one on the 14th of August. So if anybody wants to have a look and come and see what it's all about, the open houses are just for that, to come and have a look around, and we'll provide some information sessions as well so people can understand. But there really is no commitment other than coming here, enjoying yourself and looking after yourself, and hopefully that helps your life in total.
The trek up Mount Kilimanjaro begins in just a few weeks. The fundraiser will run all the way through early September as both Steve and his wife Shauna make their way up Mount Kilimanjaro, hoping to raise $500,000 for the Kirk Gibson Foundation as they enter a new era, opening the Kirk Gibson Center. Steve, before we let you go, anything else that our audience should know about the center or about the foundation at this time?
I think that I just would like to say, we've got this incredible team that's been working for 2 years now to set up this centre, and we're getting very close to getting it open. The thing that we need most of all right now is to get the word out to anybody that has Parkinson's. Say, come and join us and become a member of the centre. This is here for you, and we've designed it so that you can enjoy yourself and have a good time. Secondly, we've had incredible support from the community. 3 major sponsors: Mitch Lyons Wealth, Planet Fitness, and our logistics friends. We are just so grateful for all of them. We're so grateful for the people people that are donating through the website, and also very grateful for the Latch family that have put up $250,000 as a match for the Kilimanjaro climb. So if we can get to 250, we unlock another $250,000, which is incredibly generous from Rick and Suzanne and their family.
It's a significant amount of money to help a significant number of people that need these resources. That they are life-changing, and you have a chance to help out. Steve, thank you so much for your time today, and best of luck as you and Shauna make your way up Kilimanjaro.
Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Thanks for having us on.
More information on the Kirk Gibson Center can be found on kirkgibsoncenter.org, and follow the foundation across social media at Kirk Gibson Foundation. That's our show. I want to remind you that television that's close to home is always online on civiccentertv.com and across our social media. Big thank you to our entire team and to you for joining in as well. For our entire team, I'm Tyler Keefe, live, local, social. This has been The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.